It's March 16th, 2018. I planted all this stuff last Saturday. Today's a Friday. So that's an Anaheim chili. It's a small green chili. It's my favorite chili. These are seeds from chilies I planted last year because they usually don't seem to have problems with hybrids breeding untrue. They usually breed just fine. So I've usually been able to pass them down year to year. We'll see. This is a black tomato, not one of those hybrid tomatoes or one of those old-fashioned tomatoes that are pink but have a little black in them. This tomato's black, I mean completely black. Yeah, I got it from China. We'll see what happens with that. This is cucumber. They took right off. Literally, I mean, this is 6 days. Now, granted, we can't possibly eat the cucumbers that come off of this many plants. We're only going to plant 4 or 5 of these. We'll have to either give away or throw away the rest of them. But they are coming right on. This is pumpkin. So this row right here is just a small orange pumpkin. And then this is a white pumpkin. We bought these pumpkins last year for Halloween. Look at that thing come. That's really a nice looking pumpkin plant. So we'll see what happens with them. I haven't grown pumpkins in a long time. This is a little tomato, a small yellow cherry tomato egg yolk, which is a terrible name, that I got for free. I couldn't resist it. I planted them. They're not coming up yet. Quick update on the seeds that I planted for spring. This is 14 days after they were planted. These are my chilies, and they're coming along nicely. They haven't all sprouted. I'm going to give these things another week, and then I'm going to put more seeds in. I've already got 10 pots, though. That's probably as many as I need. They still get protected. The bigger plants are gradually coming out. This is my black tomato. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a reasonable number, frankly, because they're really more of an experiment. So I'll probably add some more seeds if those others don't come up soon. The first one's only sprouted about 5 days ago. So at the moment, I'll give them a little more leeway. Here's my cucumbers. They look pretty good. I've got 3, 4 pots that don't have any cucumbers out of 20. That's plenty. I can't use more than 3 or 4 of them. Here's my pumpkins. I have, like I said, orange and white. Got way more pumpkins than I need. I'm going to plant probably 2 plants of each variety. They've already started producing their first leaves. You can see that, like I always do, I planted 2 seeds per cup. I did that with every single plant here. My guess is next week I'm going to have to call a question on which one of the 2 plants is allowed to survive on these, and I'll have to do that pretty quickly with the cucumbers too. So we're 3 weeks into this growing season here, and I just thought I'd give you an update. First thing is, I did thin out the pumpkins and the cucumbers. So there's really only 1 left per. There's one with 2. Here is my black tomato. I'm kind of disappointed. I only got 8 pots growing, so I just replanted some more. And there are my peppers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I also replanted those. That's more than enough of both of those varieties of plant, but the question is whether or not they'll all make it to produce fruit. So I went ahead and replanted to try to get some more plants out of this. So here's a very quick update at the 4-week mark on these plants. That's my chili peppers. They're coming along nicely. I've got a couple of really nice looking little tomato plants that are coming along. They're good. Plenty of cucumbers. I'm not going to plant more than 4 of these, and I've got more than double that. That's that little free tomato I got, which frankly I don't really care about, but it did grow. And then I've got my pumpkins, which are coming along fine. Really got close to 4 weeks before I want to put these things out. I'm not sure the pumpkins are going to last that long. I think they're going to be too big. But I think that my timing's not too bad on all the rest of them. This is Mother's Day. Anybody who's a gardening nerd knows Mother's Day is the day you plant your tomatoes. I took an entire montage of planting my tomatoes, but I lost it. There are my pumpkins. They need to get out there. They're close to not being there anymore. And these are my cucumbers. So I'm going to get those out there. I'll show you my garden. I'm going to plant that. My wife handed it to me. I have no idea what it'll do, but I'll stick it in the ground and see what happens. Obviously, right at the moment, the last thing these little bitty plants need is a tomato cage, but this way I get to get them out of my shed. What better place to store them than on the tomato? Plus, it'll help keep my mulch down. I'm using this thing they tout as a brand new triangular pattern. Of course, cynical me thinks the reason why it's brand new is because they can get you to buy for the same price 3 sides worth of wire instead of 4 sides. But, you know, that's just me. Nobody else would think that way, would they? Certainly not the manufacturers. Much like hamburger buns, they sell you tomato plants in packages of 4 and tomato cages in packages of 10. Whatever. All right, on to the chilies. Chili plants are very different from tomatoes. They don't get all leggy. They don't vine. But I have these cages. I might as well stick them on, if for no other reason than to hold down the mulch. We've done that bit about knowing yourself, and in that category, I'm a feeder. I'm an overfeeder. I like to feed my plants, particularly Miracle-Gro. Corporate plug incoming. That's bad for your plants actually because it deprives them of calcium. So I've spent the winter grinding up eggshells in my now snuffed coffee grinder, and each plant gets a spoonful. What overfeeding does is it deprives the plants of calcium, which causes something called blossom end rot, which is where the end of the tomato opposite the stem turns brown and mushy before the tomato matures. A little calcium will take care of that, and this is a very nicely non-burning calcium supplement. It's just literally eggshells that I washed and dried and ground up, which I guess makes me macrobiotic and maybe vegan, I don't know. Maybe I should stuff some of this up my ass and see if it works as well as zinc oxide. I can sell it on Goop. Alrighty then, let's fire up the sprinkler. Several hours later, they still look kind of sad. They're perking up a little bit. I'll tell you though, you give them a couple of days, a little rain, they'll be fine. They'll perk right up. I'm not worried about them at all, no matter how ugly they look. FYI, these are Rose Campion. They're a biennial. First year they're just a bunch of foliage, but the second year they have these beautiful kind of purple-red blossoms on them. These right here in these pots were around the edge like this. I'm taking them to the South Pacific with me, which is why they're where they are now. Here's my last little bit. That's called tall pea fence. Once again, thank you, Jeff. You can buy anything from that guy. So there are my rather sad looking cucumbers. They're not going to be sad for long. Look, that one's already grabbed on. They don't take very long. Look, that one's already grabbed on. I literally put these things in the ground 10 minutes ago. So they're going to get big fast. I honestly don't know. This is pretty stiff pea fencing, but my guess is that these pea fence are not going to be able to hold these cucumbers. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll give it a month. So there you have it. It's add water and wait a month. We'll just we'll call that a day. If you want to, you can like and subscribe. Tell your friends. We'll get back to the bathroom eventually, but right now there's too much to be done outside to deal with what needs to be done inside. See you later.